Welcome back once again to Titans Tube, everybody. We're glad you're here with us. My name is Justin, and this is Jake with me here. And this is our preview for the Tennessee Titans Week 11 matchup, hosting the Houston Texans, coming on to Nashville. Jake, the difficult part of our schedule is gone, hopefully out the window. This brutal 5-game stretch. Titans somehow came out of it 5-0. And we can tack on a 6-0 because it started with the Jags, but they weren't part of the brutal schedule. No disrespect, but low-key disrespect to the Jags. Anyway, schedule's starting to soften up here, Jake. The Texans are 1-8 on the year. Haven't won a game, since week 1 against Jacksonville. So it's right in front of us, Jake. Titans just need to take care of business, right? We're feeling good about this. This isn't going to be another Jets situation, is it, Jake? I don't know. How are you feeling? I mean, we should be fully confident going into this, right?
Yeah, I'm with you, Justin. Full confidence. I'm not wagering any facial hair on this game. We talked briefly beforehand. We're like, this game almost feels like a formality, and we're going to look like big asshats if the Titans, lose, and we called this game a formality. But, it's the 1-8 Houston Texans coming to town. A lot of people aren't even calling them a real NFL team, even coming into this year, and they've only done, poorly and proved people right. So, hopefully we don't come off like asshats, and we get through this preview. We get through this week in this game with a victory. It's supposed to be a rainy day in Nashville, Justin, I think I saw on all the weather reports. So maybe it's a slipey, sloppy game, but as long as the Titans come out on the winning side, I will feel good about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get the W. It doesn't have to be pretty. It would be nice to be pretty, Jake. I kind of am hoping we come in here and see a dominant Titans performance, to be honest with you. Both teams dealing with injuries, and we'll get to that. The last time we saw this Houston Texans team, Jake, was in Week 17 of last year when the Titans clinched the AFC South. The Texans were a 4-12 team last year, but they had Deshaun Watson. And both games against this team, Jake, were nail biters, and they were huge performances from Derrick Henry and the offense. Both of them, I think, were 3-point, or one of them was the Derrick Henry overtime touchdown run. That was when they were in Nashville last year. And then the last time we played them in general was Week 17, and they had the Sam Sloman doink off the uprights. And that's how your Titans captured the AFC South title last year, of course, by just a super nerve-wracking field goal. We couldn't have it any other way.
Nope.
But now the Houston Texans are, of course, obviously without Deshaun Watson, and they're just about how people expected them to be with a piss-poor roster coming in. They are coming off a bye week. Is that a big deal? Is that a small deal? Is it any kind of deal at all? I don't know, Jake. But I did hear a funny bit on 104.5 The Zone. 3HL. They had on Greg Cosell, and just right off the bat, Brent Doherty, the guy that is kind of is the main guy in that show, said, "So Greg, you've been watching the Houston Texans team. What did you see from the Texans?" And Greg just straight up said, "I see a bad football team, Brent." So, and I have a lot of respect for Greg Cosell, and he does a lot of film watching. I love his takes and his analysis. So if he's saying that, then man, that just makes you feel even better going into this game, Jake. So we can start it off here, Jake. You can take it away with the Titans passing offense going against a Texans passing defense. What are we going to be looking at here?
Yeah, so the Titans passing offense has been pedestrian, mediocre at best, Justin. We've seen a couple high-flying games from Tannehill, but not much. We haven't seen those consistent deep shots game to game, and it shows in the statistics. And the Titans passing offense is coming into this game 23rd in the league in terms of passing yards a game. And like I said, I think it kind of shows in the way the Titans offense operates. Ryan Tannehill has to eliminate these mistakes. He should have thrown another bad interception in that Saints game, but was gifted a roughing the passer call on that one. And, that's a bad decision in the end zone, Ryan Tannehill. We have to cut that out. And he's just been on a streak of throwing at least one bad interception a game. You always can kind of see it forming. But anyways, I think if Ryan Tannehill plays clean in this game, I don't think the Houston Texans are an issue. If Ryan Tannehill turns the ball over twice, this game might be an issue, Justin. And we'll see with the rainy conditions what this passing offense will do and can do in sloppy conditions. But you're going to need guys like Marcus Johnson to step up again in Julio Jones's absence. Last week had 5 catches for 100 yards. Obviously the hero of the Saints game, got that offense kind of moving when they didn't have a lot going on early. And A.J. Brown pretty much shut down last game by the Saints defense. And I think that's what you're going to see with the Julio Jones-less, Derrick Henry-less offense. Who's the last weapon available? A.J. Brown. And defenses are going to key on him and take him out of the ball game. So hopefully he can find some more success, find a few more touches. I love Todd Downing's creativity with the end around kind of handoff to A.J. Brown in the red zone last week. That's the kind of thing you want to see. Just put the ball in his hands, give him a chance to make a play. Flipping sides of the ball, Texans passing defense is middle of the pack. They allow about 250 yards a game. And this will be a Desmond King revenge game, Justin. Desmond King, the second, acquired in a trade last year by the Titans for their much ailing secondary, if we all remember. He's going to be leading the charge at corner for the Houston Texans, and Terrence Mitchell and Lonnie Johnson Jr. will also be playing quite a bit in that cornerback role. And then Eric Murray and Justin Reed, 2 names that I feel like Titans fans are familiar with. They're a good, serviceable duo at safety. So I don't know, Justin. It's hard to place full confidence in this passing attack after what we've seen after the past 2 weeks in the Derrick Henry-less era of the 2021 Tennessee Titans. So I think this is really the game. You said it at the top. You want to see a dominant performance by the Titans over a clearly inferior opponent in the Houston Texans. And this is where the game where Tannehill needs to earn his money, especially if the conditions are allowing that to happen. So you would like to see Tannehill come out and sling it, throw with confidence, not into the chest of a linebacker, preferably into the chest of a receiver. But yeah, I think the Titans maybe take the slight advantage here, even though A.J. Brown's kind of the last weapon left. And something to note, tight end Jeff Swaim was ruled out of this game as well. So look at Michael Pruitt, Anthony Ferkser. Where are you at, man? This would be a perfect time for a signature Anthony Ferkser game. So hopefully we can see that. I don't know. What do you think, Justin? I'm thinking this is push or maybe slight advantage to the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Without Derrick Henry, without Julio Jones, every single team that we face until I guess Julio Jones at least gets back needs to be game planning to shut down A.J. Brown, double team him, just take him out of the game, and force Tannehill to beat you with guys like Marcus Johnson, Nick Westbrook-Akina, Chester Rogers. And it kind of backfired, I guess, on the Saints. If you want to say they keyed in on A.J. Brown, Marcus Johnson went over the middle 5 times for 100 yards receiving and was our best thing going on offense. But I think that's the correct way to go about it, because, I mean, if you let A.J. Brown just be A.J. Brown, he's going to torch you. So I'm at the same time looking for a big game again from Marcus Johnson or Nick Westbrook-Akina. Maybe one of these tight ends can step up and make a bigger impact in the passing game for Tannehill. I'm not. We'll see what this offense can do against a more inferior defense than the Rams and Saints. But I'm with you. I think this could be a close matchup battle, especially with the weather. It could be rainy, making the passing game more difficult for Tannehill. But hopefully, the boys come ready. They know the challenge ahead. And still, I would take A.J. Brown to beat Terrence Mitchell or Lonnie Johnson Jr. in a matchup there, if they're not going to be keying in on him. We need to be targeting A.J. Brown, finding ways to get him touches. Even though we did give him that handoff for a first down, great play call like you had mentioned, we need to keep doing that, almost force feeding him in a sense. I mean, this dude just makes plays when the ball's in his hands. So hopefully we just force it on him, even if the Texans game plan to shut him down. But I agree with you. I would still give us the slight advantage. It's close to a push, but I still like Tannehill in this passing offense for sure.
Yeah, and that's the classic Titans tube little, take the needle and just push it in the Titans direction a little bit. So if we rule it a push, our bias, we'll push that needle over to a Titans advantage. Justin, will this Titans rushing offense get back on track this week?
I think, if we're going to say get back on track, we're expecting it to be the tractor back on the track of the production.
Maybe not that.
The rushing offense should go for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yes. No. We'll see what this running back crew looks like now without both Derrick Henry and Jeremy McNichols. Dude, what is going on with this? We had like 3 or 4 guys, it felt like it, banged up in practice this week, and now they're not playing in the game. I don't know if McNichols was one of them, but I know Jeff Swaim had suffered a concussion in practice. What's going on here? We can't even get their practice week healthy now. We've got to get healthy at some point, Titans. So we'll see what it is. It's going to be the Deontay Foreman show and the Adrian Peterson show as well. But at this point, after 2 games, you got to like how Foreman has been looking, and he's got to be the lead guy at this point, I feel like. I like how Peterson is looking. He looks like he's got some juice. He's got some burst in his step. But as far as production goes, as far as hitting the hole, going where the play is, going to go, or supposed to go with no hesitation, I like how Deontay Foreman is fitting in with this offense. And hopefully it'll be an easier time not having to go up against Aaron Donald and Cam Jordan and that Saints front 7 that posed a really tough test for this rush offense that couldn't get anything going. We're not going to have Nate Davis in this game, another guy dealing with the concussion. So that's going to hurt, but I kind of like Aaron Brewer coming in the times that he's been called upon to fill in that guard. I think he does a nice job. And again, the competition of the opponent, it's not like we're asking him to block Aaron Donald this week.
Yes.
So hopefully the running game does have an easier time. I'm expecting it to pick up a little bit this week. I'd be happy with maybe 80-ish yards between, and I'd definitely be happy with 80 yards between Foreman and Peterson, given what we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
Just like 40 yards, it feels like. But, and it is going to be easier because even the Texans, the players that they do have, just suffered a big blow. Their top tackler, Christian Kirksey, was just placed on IR. So that's going to be a big loss for that defense. And I mean, they already came into this game 31st in rush defense and yards allowed per game. So it's a big opportunity to get this run game on the right track, without Derrick Henry here. They still got some headlining players, though. I mean, Zach Cunningham has been a good player for them since he entered the league, since he was drafted out of Vanderbilt. And then Kamu Kruger-Hill.
Nice.
I don't know. He's also among the leading tacklers. Is it? Oh, man. Hopefully the Titans have an easier time rushing against him than we did trying to pronounce his name. But he's also having a good season for the Texans. And then on the defensive line, Jonathan Grenard. I'm not going to try too hard to pronounce that name. It's an easier name. And DeMarcus Walker are, statistically speaking, are among the leaders. But Grenard, who I think has Grenard. Oh, he has 7 sacks, not 4. 7 sacks. He's right there with Big Jeff in sacks. And I honestly had not heard of him before looking into this game. But, seems like he's having a quality season. But he did show up on the injury report with a foot injury, and he was limited all week. So if he's going to miss this game, that's another big loss for this front 7. But, man, it seems crazy to give us the advantage here. But you look at how they come in 31st ranked and and the players that they're missing, and especially with Christian Kirksey, I don't know. I would almost give the Titans the advantage here. It's still going to be tough. They still haven't proven themselves after 2 games. But I don't know. I think it's only fair that I would say push. I will try not to let my bias get in the way. But until we actually see a rush for longer than 6 yards from one of these 2 running backs, I'm not going to give the Titans the rushing advantage. But I'll give us a push here. What do you think?
That's fair, Justin. That's totally fair. I when writing the preview, I gave the Titans the initial advantage. But you're right. I mean, we haven't seen a rush longer than 6 yards. You hit the nail on the head. And obviously, you think Deontay Foreman's going to be the guy. I don't know if you noticed last week, Adrian Peterson started that Sunday night football game against the Rams, but who came out on the opening offensive possession last week? Deontay Foreman, number 7, switches number from 45. Yeah, that's the guy who's making the decisive decisions. And you like to see him get involved in the screen game last week with his huge chunk play.
Yeah.
I mean, and when it comes to replacing Derrick Henry, you don't need to get all those yards on the ground, Justin. Deontay Foreman can take a screen pass for 40, 50 yards and get that production out of the running back position rather than just, the 3 yards cloud of dust and try and rack up Derrick Henry numbers on the ground that way. It's all about overall production. And I think me and you we don't differ on a lot of opinions when it comes to the Titans, but I'm not sold on Adrian Peterson, man. I just think he looks very much 36 years old back there trying to cut and make a decisive decision, like I said with Deontay Foreman. But I feel like this rushing game can get back on track. Nate Davis is a loss for this offensive line, but hopefully Taylor Lewan continues to work his way back in, and we have a somewhat healthy unit on the offensive line. So I'll let the bias step aside, and we can take a push here.
All right. A push it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just really want Adrian Peterson to do well here just because of the legend behind him as a player. And his feet look pretty quick. I mean, he looks like he's hopping in there, and I don't know, there's just still some hesitation a little bit, but maybe I'm still wearing my rose-tinted glasses.
That's okay. That's okay. No
yes.
worries. I'm still salty about the over 33 and a half or over 32 and a half rushing yards bet I made on Sunday Night Football. I don't even think he has 33 yards in 2 games. So
probably not. You're just mad that you lost a bet because of Adrian Peterson. So you've got a personal vendetta against him, is what's going on.
A little bit, and he just looks slow, man. That's just me. But also he could still gas me in a 100-yard dash. I mean, it's apples to oranges, man. But anyways, I digress on Adrian Peterson.
If he gets a 30-plus yard rush in this game, I'm coming after you. Jake.
That's fair. I like that. I will shave into a goatee if Adrian Peterson has a rush longer than 30 yards. How about that?
Oh, okay. I'm liking that. I mean, last time you put your facial hair on the line, it backfired. So maybe it's going to be a trend, and we're going to see it happen.
I would love to see a big gashing Adrian Peterson run. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on. Flip sides of the ball here. Take us away here with the Titans passing defense versus the Texans passing offense. Not much to speak of there, Jake, except for one player who we'll get to. But yeah, what are we going to be looking at here?
Yeah, so again, another banged up group for the Titans. The secondary is coming into the week. Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins, coming into this game questionable. He practiced fully on Tuesday, and then he was out Wednesday, and then he was out Thursday and Friday. Got the questionable tag, so we're going to be thin at corner if Jack Rabbit cannot go in this game. So fingers crossed he can get in the game, and because he's that sticky guy who can cover Brandon Cooks. Sorry to spoil the surprise about the only offensive weapon for the Houston Texans, but we will need Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins in this game. And also look for Chris Jackson to try and have a bounce back game. He played great on Sunday Night Football against the Rams and had just a real tough day at the office against the New Orleans Saints last week. So hopefully we can get a bounce back performance from him. Elijah Molden continues to play well, play solid as a rookie in that slot corner position. So looking for that to continue. Looking at this Texans passing offense, hopefully even a thin Titan secondary can handle them, Justin, because led by Tyrod Taylor, they are the 29th passing offense in the league, just north of 200 yards a game. So, lower tier in terms of production. I'm a Tyrod Taylor fan. I'm a Tyrod Taylor believer because he's always been like a serviceable quarterback and a solid kind of veteran presence, but he's just been dealt a raw deal everywhere he's gone. You think back to Cleveland, he was kind of the guy. He won a few football games, and then Baker Mayfield replaces him when he gets hurt. And then, he goes to the Chargers, and the team doctor punctures his lung when he was like having at least some success, middle of the road success, and gets his lung punctured. And now he's over to the Houston Texans as his reward. And he's been hurt playing for Houston too. So just a string of bad luck for this guy. Anyways, I think Tyrod Taylor can beat teams if they're not prepared. See Jacksonville week 1. Who's he going to be throwing to, Justin? Brandon Cooks has taken the reins of being the Titan killer wide receiver of the Houston Texans after DeAndre Hopkins left town. Because if you look back to 2020, Justin, a big reason why those games were nail biters. Brandon Cooks in the 2 games last year against the Titans had 20 receptions, 234 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
You
Absolutely.
won your fantasy matchup if you had Brandon Cooks against the Titans.
Yeah. No kidding.
Golly.
And yeah, to all the fantasy players, put Brandon Cooks in. Make a deal this week if you don't have him and put him in your lineup because wow. He's going to be the guy to watch for this Houston Texans offense. There's no secret about that because in terms of production, it's Brandon Cooks, and then way down the line, there's guys like Chris Conley and tight end Jordan Akins. But, Brandon Cooks has several hundred yards lead on these guys in terms of the statistical category. So it's really just Brandon Cooks and then everybody else in this passing offense. Maybe David Johnson gets a little bit involved out of the backfield. Rex Burkhead has caught a few balls this year for the Houston Texans. But like I said, it's really Brandon Cooks and everybody else, Justin.
Yeah, it really is. And kind of paralleling that to the Texans, their pass defense eating, really just to key in on A.J. Brown and try to, have Tannehill beat you with these other receivers. That should be the key with our defense. Put, especially if Jackrabbit can't go, put Christian Fulton on him. Just have him follow around Brandon Cooks on every single play and possibly give him help over the top too, because he can burn you deep. Brandon Cooks, he's got the smaller frame, but he's got all the tools. He can run every route in the tree. And he's a burner, and he burned us several times. That stat line from last year against the Titans is appalling as a Titans fan, but we saw a lot of that, with this Titans pass defense last year. But with a healthy Christian Fulton back here and a good pass rush, this defense has suddenly done a 180. So yeah, I like everything you said. Nothing really scares me about this Texans team except for Brandon Cooks. So that's got to be the guy. That's got to be the guy we key in on and shut down. So, I mean, if we can do that, I don't see how this Titans pass defense doesn't get the advantage here and doesn't have some success in shutting down this pass game. And you combine that with the success of Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons getting after the quarterback, having career years. Man, are we gonna see 2 Titans with over 10 sacks?
It's very possible.
Season would be the first time in Titans history that we did that. But yeah, it comes down to Brandon Cooks. Can we stop him? And even if we can't, I like our offense to outscore them too. Even if Brandon Cooks goes off again for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Don't want to speak that into existence, but I do like this pass defense against the Texans here. So I think we should definitely get the advantage.
Absolutely. We'll chalk it up as the advantage. I mean, you said it. It's stop Brandon Cooks, and you should be at least okay on the day. We're going to say that Chris Conley is going to have $120 and 2 touchdowns and 12 catches and, the whole 9. But, we'll definitely take the advantage of this one, Justin. What about this Titans front 7 and the Texans rushing offense?
Whew. Man, yeah. How about it? Oh, man, how about this rushing defense for the Titans? Still in the top 10. They climb. They keep on gaining a spot every single week.
Single
2 weeks ago, they were 9. Last week, they were 8. This week, they come into this game number 7 in rushing yards allowed per game. Our fearsome foursome. That's my attempt at a nickname right off the bat. It's not going to be the fearsome threesome without Bud Dupree this game. He is missing this one. So it's going to be Landry, Simmons, and Autry leading the charge. Possibly getting Derek Roberson in this game. I keep forgetting about him. He is always injured. He had he had a decent stretch like 2 years ago, and we must really, really love him because we keep holding on to him and he keeps getting hurt. And if he's 100% healthy, then yeah, I think he's got potential to be a great player for us. But we're probably going to see a lot of Ola Adeni playing in that Bud Dupree spot, rotating in and out amongst other players. Also, though, breaking down this matchup, I think we're more going to be talking about the players who are there and not there, injured and not injured. Also, David Long Jr. Oh, man, I hate that he's missing another game, too. I mentioned it last week, but I can't believe that he was in the game with 2 minutes left against the Rams, and that's how he gets hurt. We're going to need him back sooner rather than later. He's such a good linebacker for us. And Rashaan Evans is out. So, again, it's Monty Rice. Come on down. you're the newest contestant on who's going to start at inside linebacker for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Yay. So it's going to be him and Jayon Brown holding down the fort at inside linebacker. It just seems to be a constant rotation between those four guys and who's healthy, who's not, who's starting. I'm not sure who's going to be a third inside linebacker to spell these guys, because surely there's going to be a third guy coming in and out. Could it be special teams hero Dylan Cole? I really don't know. I don't know who our immediate depth is going to be behind these two guys. I should have done more research. But anyways, more of who's available and who's not. But you still like these guys, especially considering what they're going up against. Texans, they are still 31st against stopping the run and 31st running the ball. No more Mark Ingram. He was their leading rusher, and he's still their leading rusher.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram. We faced the Texans' leading rusher last week when we played the Saints. So now it falls to David Johnson and Philip Lindsay, who are behind him. I think David Johnson is averaging 3.6 yards a carry. Philip Lindsay averaging 2.7 yards a carry. And neither of these guys even have 140 rushing yards on the season, Jake. The production is just not there. Of course, that has a lot to do with Mark Ingram's now absence, but still, there's nothing there. They also have Rex Burkhead, who may get a couple touches. I don't know, just a random committee of running backs that the Texans have acquired. Neither of these guys really scare me. David Johnson can still be a playmaker. We do need to watch him, coming out of the backfield, catching passes. Would have been nice to have David Long Jr. in that role, but you got to have faith in Jayon, even though Brown did struggle a little bit covering Mark Ingram.
He did.
Getting the ball thrown to him. So hopefully Brown can correct some of that. But, man, I mean, it comes down to this front, though, for me, more than anything. I think we're going to lock down I think we're going to lock down this rushing game for the Texans. I mean, I think we have the clear advantage here. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Nothing other than I like Mike Keith's proposal for the nickname of this front four. I mean, it doesn't apply this week because Bud Dupree is out, but if you add up the jersey numbers of Bud Dupree, Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry, and Danico Autry, it adds up to 300. So that is your Titans lore, the Greek mythology. We are the 300, and maybe that sticks. I don't know. I feel like Titans fans are really forcing the bill on this nickname. Obviously, the Tickle Monsters nickname was vetoed by both Danico Autry and Jeff Simmons. Thank God they finally asked him about it and they shut it down. But
I can't believe it even gained that much traction.
Yeah,
to reach the players. I mean, all right. I mean, it's a funny joke, but if it was a joke, then that was it. Then let's move on. Like, why are we continuing to push this? Anyway, enough about that. But I like the 300 or like the Titan 300 or to make an additional word that is a reference to the Titans or just the 300. That works. I think it's really cool how their numbers add up to that. Yeah. To 300. So, I like how we spend more time talking about the nickname of our front four rather than this specific matchup. But, I mean, for good reason. I think, dude, if we get run over by David Johnson and Philip Lindsay, that's going to be a little deflating. And, with the weather as it is, this could be a run each other's offenses into the mud type of game. It could be slow going here. But, man, you just love how this defense is rolling. And you got to take the advantage here.
Definitely. And another possible advantage, Justin, coming around the corner to kind of put a bow on the Texans offense. I mean, you just got to look at the numbers, man. 29th in passing, 31st in rushing. So I know our defense is banged up and inside linebacker is thin. I might be the third inside linebacker come Sunday for the Titans. I'm waiting on that phone call. This defense just has to show up, do what it does, be opportunistic when the Texans do have turnover-worthy plays, pounce on the ball, win the turnover battle, and I think there's not terribly a lot that scares you about this Houston Texans offense. Flipping to special teams, Justin, Are we going to have Randy Bullock and Brett Kern in the Pro Bowl come January? Well, they won't play in the Pro Bowl because they will be getting ready for the Super Bowl in Los Angeles.
That's right.
But I mean, Slim Randy, until he misses, I mean, you got to love this guy. You got to love the redemption arc for Randy Bullock, especially finding a new home with the Titans after bouncing around quite a bit. Unbelievable. And you look at the Texans, they have longtime kicker Kaimi Fairbairn, who's been very steady for them, and punter Cameron Johnson is handling the duties there. And, as long as Kern keeps coffin cornering and Randy Bullock keeps booting them through, we're going to take the advantage after giving up so many. We need to get some back. So we'll take the special teams advantage here.
I know we're correcting from all the incompetence from the kicking game last year. Did you say coffin cornering?
Yeah.
I've never heard that expression before. Did you just make that up, or is that a thing?
No. That's a vocab word for like coffin corner, especially I think when it lands out of bounds, so like it's just dead. Maybe that's
fantastic. I love it.
You learn something new every day.
I did not know that's the new football jargon. Coffin cornering. It's kind of dark though. Coffin, really? We got to bring death into this.
Tickle monster's too light. Coffin corner too heavy. We got to find somewhere.
I can't be satisfied. I can't be pleased with anything. I'm always going to find something to complain about. But all right. Yeah, dude, I love this. Dude, Randy Bullock, what a savior he's been for us. And we have needed him. We've had very close games this year, and Randy has made all of his kicks in those close games. Still, I don't think he's missed since missing the game tire against the Jets, but way back in September. So, so loving how these guys are kicking the ball for us. Hopefully they keep it rolling. Jake, do you have, or I can go first for a key and a score prediction to the game?
Go for it.
We've already pretty much touched on it, and it's simple. We are the better team. The Texans are not a good team. And Tannehill, don't turn the ball over. Stop this. Don't throw the ball to the other team. I'm just asking you to do that. We do that defensively. We shut down Brandon Cooks. Titans are going to win. If Tannehill, if we have 0 turnovers and Brandon Cooks has less than 50 yards and we lose this game, I'm going to throw a fit. I am going to be fit throwing because that does not make any sense. You got to feel confident, and it's crazy as a Titans fan because there's rarely times when you're like, I am 99% confident, 100% confident that we are going to win this game, because you always have a deflating kind of performance every now and then, or Titans could come out slow out of the gates, be winning like 6-7 at halftime, and it's going to be like, what's going on here? What's going on? That stuff happens all the time. But yet again, they've done enough to where I'm fully confident in this team, Jake. And I think we can shut down Cooks and we can take care of the football. And I like the Titans. I think we'll get this one 31-20. I think the Texans I think it'll be a comfortable win. The Texans will put on a touchdown late in the game. But I'll give us the 31-20 win here.
I like it. I think my key to the game, Justin, is touching on what you just said. And like I watching this Titans team, I think I've seen statistics on the broadcast. Like they have been one of the best in the league at scoring touchdowns, like in the third quarter, or like in terms of point differential in the third quarter, the Titans turn it on right after halftime. And that needs to change because at least on Sunday, because if you come out and punch this Houston Texans team in the mouth and go up 14 points, they're going to roll over. They're a 1-8 team. They're probably going to be playing in the rain and the mud, and they're just not going to get back up if you take an early lead. So for Titans fans far and wide, we'd like to just sit and have a beer and watch a casual football game and not be stressed out all the damn time. I mean, look at the Kansas City game. That was a very enjoyable experience for everyone, sans Kansas City. But if you come out and get an early lead on this Houston Texans team, they're going to roll over, and the Titans need to impose their will. Hopefully it comes by way of an Adrian Peterson 30-plus yard rush, and you get a goatee from me on the recap. But that remains to be seen. My second key is getting that running game going, Justin. It can't be all Tannehill throwing incomplete passes on 3rd and long all the time. How many 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 11s have we seen in the past 2 weeks without Derrick Henry? I mean, we saw a fair amount of those before, but man, it feels like every series Tannehill's throwing way behind the sticks, and we can't kind of compensate for that. So getting to third and manageable by running the ball effectively against the 31st ranked rushing defense in football. So all things said, I have the Titans winning this football game, Justin, and I'm going to go by a score of 24-9.
Ooh, all right. Interesting. Just 24 points. The offense, still maybe a little slow going.
It's sloppy. It's raining in Nashville, and the ball, there's going to be some inopportune fumbles, maybe. Who knows?
It could be, I could see, sort of how the Saints game played out. We get up by a couple scores, and then kind of feels like the offense and Todd Downing may, let the foot off the gas a little bit. It's rainy. Let's just hand off, and run out this clock and really stop being aggressive. That's one thing that could scare me going into this game. And like if you're Todd Downing and approaching this game thinking that, it's just the Texans, we don't have to do anything special on offense. Let's just be vanilla. Let's, and I don't want to see a vanilla, slow going Titans offense. And that allows Houston to kind of hang around throughout the course of the game. I like how you said, jump out on them. Let's be aggressive from the first snap of the game and punch them right in the mouth. Go up by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And then, like you said, I think, they're going to lay down after that. A fast start, I think, is hugely important in this game, too. So I like it. 24-9.
Hey, 3 field goals. They'll be in close range. Titans' red zone defense, I feel, has been pretty damn good this year, Justin. So hopefully that trend continues, especially in short yardage situations. And let's get this Houston Texans team to roll over, man. Do you have anything else to kind of close out this preview episode?
No, nothing comes to mind. Man, and I would also just like to get through this game without another player getting hurt. It's time to start getting healthier, everyone. We even through the practice week, we add additional players to the injury report. So let's get through this game. Let's get healthy. And then looking further ahead, we got a road trip to New England that we're going to have to come ready to play for because they are rolling right now. And they are now currently enjoying 10 days of rest already after having one Thursday night. So they're, Bill Belichick is already game planning for this Titans team. So they got a step ahead in the game planning department. So, but let's take care of business here and then set our sights to New England. Hopefully more rested and healthy than we are currently. So that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, man. That bye week cannot come soon enough for your Tennessee Titans. So I think that's going to do it for us. Justin, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up. Let's punch Houston in the mouth. We own the Oilers nickname. We own Houston football. Won't go that far. But, let's get them to roll over. Play sloppy in the rain. Let's just have a good, fun time. And let's have a nice, relaxing beer on Sunday, watching the Titans take care of an inferior opponent. Tighten up. Everybody have a great football weekend. Peace out.
Love it. Love it. You guys tighten up.